Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Unapologetic Entrepreneur, ladies and gentlemen. Today, I'm going to be talking to you about a few things, but let me start by saying thank you for coming, guys. Thank you very much. Thank you for always showing up and being part of the show. Today, we're going to talk about one of my favorites, the Sanders family, right? And I'm going to talk about don't rush the draft, trusting the process like Shedeur Sanders. That's right. We're going to bring a topic here on this platform that I know some of you are thinking, how can you tie this into entrepreneurship, right? Well, you're going to just see exactly how I do that, all right? Well, I want to welcome you again to the Unapologetic Entrepreneur, where we speak truth, taking risk, and building legacies unapologetically. That's what we're going to be doing today. And like I said, today's story is going to be today's episode was inspired by all the shenanigans that people are talking about online regarding Shedeur Sanders. While the world expected him to go in this last year in the 2024 draft, right? He made a powerful decision to wait. Not only that, he waited, but it wasn't out of fear. He waited out of clarity, strategy, and he had confidence in his value. Now, as an entrepreneur, I think these are three things that everybody needs to have. See, as an entrepreneur, if your mind is clouded and you have a lot of people pulling at you, how can you make wise decisions, right? So this is one of the things that I want to make sure I cover today. And I see some people here watching. What's going on, Takira? How you doing? Thank you for always being faithful, always being on, supporting. Who else is out there? Come on, guys, say hello. I don't see exactly who you are unless you say hi, but I see there's 4 people watching. So we're going to talk about the decisions you make as an entrepreneur. It's going to be about clarity, about your strategy, and do you have the confidence in your personal value? A lot of people wanted to rush and thought just because, he had the name, he had the stats, he should have made a decision. And look, lo and behold, he goes into the 2025 draft, and look what happened. He went last, right? A lot of people think, there was a whole scandal about that. Well, I don't think he was worried. We as entrepreneurs have to stop worrying. What's going on, Coach? What's going on? Hey, Marvin. How you doing, Daisy? Long time no see. Oh, I see my people here showing up. All right. Thank you. Thank you for your support. But he was very clear on what he was doing. Also, I know as an entrepreneur, you guys have seen or heard somehow throughout your training, right? You always hear one thing and I like to tell people the truth always sounds the same. You got to have the right people around you. Now, would you say that the Sanders dynasty has the right people around them? I mean, dad, the brothers, that's a tight unit. And they have the right people around them. So I had no doubt that regardless where he went in the draft, I wasn't worried. Like I knew, granted, I'm just a fan, but I don't think better than saying think. I know that he wasn't worried. A lot of people thought he would falter, break, get upset about where he landed. It didn't matter. He kept his eyes clear because he knew his value. No matter what they were going to give him, whatever he was going to be offered, you got to understand the NFL, NBA, hockey, all these sports things that we watch, right, as entertainment is actually a business. He is an entrepreneur. I mean, the deals he has in college, the NIL deals, those are deals. This is all he knows exactly what he's doing, and he's taking that legacy, and he's not worried at all. So today, what we're going to discuss is what you should have in mind, using that as an example when you're in your business. If any of you are still thinking about being an entrepreneur, man, before I even start on this, stop thinking. Use somebody else's brain, as my mentor says. Use another qualified person's brain. Stop using your own brain because you're getting in your own way. And that's going to stop you from succeeding. Everybody on this planet has a gift. Any of you can start your own business. Anyone can start your own business. Anyone can run their own business, even if it's as a side gig. So I don't want this to always be about pushing you guys to get to that level. You should be there. Everybody has a gift. And in this world nowadays, you need to have something, work within your gift. And it's okay to start slow. Just find the right mentors, have the right people around you, and start creating your dynasty as the Sanders are. So I want to talk about if you thought about this is what I kept thinking about. What is the problem? What is everybody doing? Why is this creating so much hype? Well, when I put it together, when I put pen to pad, I started thinking and started scrolling and seeing what was going on. And what I realized is that they thought of legacy over hype. Of course, everybody wanted him to go first. You think it wouldn't have been great? It was unexpected that he didn't go in the first round, but I'm sure that the mindset was more about what they were doing. I'm not huge on football history, but how many of you can tell me a family that's all gone through the NFL besides the Mannings? Well, you got a cultural family right now. There's two sons and the father that's well known, creating a legacy, and they're using the NFL as well. So they thought about legacy over hype. What else? The reason he didn't go earlier? Well, he was thinking about development over the distraction. He wasn't doing what everybody else wanted him to do. It's the same thing we have in business. Sometimes you might have business partners that are trying to push you to do something, and that might actually slow you down. It's better to develop, scale when you're ready to scale, as opposed to biting off more than you can chew. What happens if you scale too early? If you're not prepared? Businesses go under for scaling too fast, right? You got to make sure that you do it at the right time. And then he was thinking about their position instead of pressure. The pressure didn't affect them. If there's anything that I've seen and I realized in the Sanders family, is that pressure makes them perform better. Oh, what's going on, Kevin? Oh my God, Kevin, really? You're gonna put that? Oh Lord, isn't it always good to see where you come from, man? Look at this. How you doing, sir? Yes, that's right, ladies and gentlemen. Those that know me know that I was a teacher, and here we are, one of my faithful students from when I was his fifth grade teacher. So we're going to talk about that, and I want to really take in the later ends of this program today. What I want to do is I want to enlighten you guys on 5 things you could do. 5 things you can do when thinking about it, and I want you to go back. If you're going to scroll back through what's been going on with the Sanders and the draft and all, and even up to last year when everybody thought he should have been drafted, and use these 5 things to help escalate and elevate your personal business. All right. I just saw that. The Matthews and the Greasies. All right. Thank you, Coach. It's all right, Kevin. Put it out there. Everybody, I'm not ashamed of what I did. I love teaching. It's my first love. That's what I do here in my recent venture in my business is teaching. So you're not affecting me. Thank you. Thank you though. Put it out there. Tell the rest of the class to come on by too. So in this part, what we're gonna do is I want you guys to take some note and think about. Here's a thought. If everybody's pressuring you to do something, is it always a good idea? You have to really think. Sometimes when the world says go, it doesn't mean that you're ready. If you move before you're ready, you can hurt yourself. So that's something to keep in mind. And again, if you go back and scroll through what was going on in social media with Shedeur Sanders, you'll see that they were very patient. Anything about Dion tells you that he's very patient and he's instilled that in his boys. It's not what the world says. That's a God-fearing man. He's not moving to the world's beat. They move to their own beat. So just because the world says go doesn't mean you have to move. Sometimes the smartest move is to sit in the pocket, study what's going on, and wait for the right movement. You really have to take your time when making these decisions. Oh, coach, whoop, there it is. Thank you. And he did give me some answers on other families. Look at that. I only knew about the Mannings, but how many of them are, how do I say this being politically correct? Ethnic. How many are ethnic? So I think the Sanders are doing something that's not normal or not seen as regular, right? So today I am going to ask you to tell me about some of your takeaways and let's have a conversation. Feel free to post them. I do have my I can always see what questions you guys ask. I'm also looking down on my phone. So if you guys have any questions, please feel free to post them. But it's really important to think about this with entrepreneurship. And I'm going to go into these 5 things that you should do to get out of your way as an entrepreneur to stop, to make sure you move in the right way, per se, to make sure you don't make these mistakes of moving too fast. All right, so let me get into it. And these are some things we can discuss. For those of you that are watching, feel free to post your questions. Like I said, I'll be looking at my phone or your comments, and then I can put them up. So let's start with the first thing you can do to get out of your way. One of them is stop seeking permission. See, there's a reason why this is called unapologetic entrepreneur. It's a way of saying sorry, not sorry. Why are you seeking permission from other people? You don't need anyone's approval to start or to evolve. One thing that every entrepreneur should have is trust in their instincts. What do they bring to the table? Their value, what their thought process was when they started the business. If you start thinking and thinking about what everybody else is saying, guess what you're doing? Whether you think or not, you're no longer an entrepreneur and running your business. You're running everybody else's business because you're doing what they want you to do. You didn't get into entrepreneurship, right, to run everybody else's business. So why are you doing that? Stop seeking validation. Seek mentorship. Somebody that actually takes your thought and helps you build and evolve on that thought to expand it, to bring your reality or you bring your thoughts into reality and then put it in the marketplace. Don't seek validation and don't ask for permission. It's okay to deal with being rewarded later or delayed rewards. Like, I like to use the example, like I said, we're talking about Shedeur. He didn't rush into success to build to just jump into the shadows of what everybody else is thinking. They want to build something worth lasting, something that's going to be trending, what is really a legacy. They want to create something that's never going to be forgotten. His father will never be forgotten. He's always going to be in history, but it's bigger than that when it's now part of a family legacy. Here's number 2. For those of you that are writing, here's number 2. especially in that situation that's so public, right? Everybody's talking about it. People that don't even talk about sports are talking about it. How you doing, Donna? Here's the one. Silence the noise. Everybody has an opinion. Again, if you're in a small circle of trusted loved ones that want to see you do nothing more than succeed and excel, people that actually celebrate your wins, they don't even have anything to do with your business. And you got those people celebrating your wins, pushing you, holding you accountable. Accountability is huge. Holding you accountable, helping you in any way they can. Those are the people you want to listen to. Silence the rest of the noise. Everybody got an opinion. Silence the noise. That's going to get you more. That's going to get you much more further. Tune out any critics. Tune out any outside expectations. You got to realize what's real to you and hold on to the most important thing in the world, your why. Your why is your gas. Your why is your inspiration. It's what pulls you. I'm not talking about motivation. Motivation is something that could be like a flash in the pan. You can get motivated and then be depleted. But your why will always pull you towards success. So you got to stay focused on that. Tune out. Just silence the noise. What's the next one I have here? What are you doing when no one's watching? Level up behind the scenes. You don't have to do it in the public eye. You know how many reps this young man was probably doing when nobody was watching? We only saw what they allowed us to see. You have to really work on your craft, your skills, do your research, work within or develop systems. A lot of people forget about the systems. Oh, wow. I got a question. Let's see. Oh, I got to ask, what is my why? Well, my why changes and evolves all the time. When I first started doing my entrepreneurship, my why was my family, my son, my mom, all these great things. But my why has become much more personal now. My personal why is to create what I want to do is I want to leave my fingerprint on the world. In my business, I'm able to help people and change them in every direct. Anybody who crosses my path in what I do, I always leave them in a better position than the way I found them. Always, whether I'm able to help them or not. So my major why is to leave my fingerprint on this huge world that we are, because we're this big. If I leave my fingerprint on the world, I know I created and changed. I changed the world somehow. And it's also to change the definition of my last name. I'm creating what my last name should be. Oh, already they're coming in. You guys got a great reputation. I love my viewers because I could be in my sixth question. They're putting things on. Let's see what we got here. We got Takira also here. It is very important to always have the right people around you, especially when your career is on the line. You have to think about what's at stake before you make a decision. Most people have scarcity mentality and rush into something because it's a lot longer than it fits. Let me see. Sorry about that, because they are fearful and they will miss out. Fear of missing out. That's right. In business and life, making wise decisions shows you your true character and integrity. Being impulsive shows the lack of emotional intelligence. Okay, that's right. To add on that and piggyback off of that, I like what you said there. You said a mouthful, and I know online you'll be able to see more of it. So, guys, please go back and read that comment. Here's one of the things that really plagues entrepreneurs: scarcity mindset. And that FOMO, fear of missing out, oh God. A lot of entrepreneurs are scared, terrified, because they're afraid of missing out on that paycheck. If you know your value, you know what you're worth, go out there and get it. Go out there and do it. There's somebody that could use whatever services are out there, whether you're doing any services you're doing, if you're doing sales over the internet, if you're doing insurance, if you're doing health, it doesn't matter. There's someone that needs your services, but they don't know you exist. So your money's out there. And I hope I answered your question as far as what is my why. My why is forever evolving, but that's my why as of now. And most people that are entrepreneurs are very deep in their why. And you know what? I'm even going to throw a book out there for all you that are entrepreneurs. There's a book, Start With Why. I would suggest some of you read that book. That book is very, very powerful. Thanks for your comments, guys. Keep them coming. I'll keep looking at my phone just in case something comes up. Let's see. Let me go to my next part of the next one. So it's level up behind the scenes. Do all the work behind the scenes. How many people, this is I'm about to put it out there. I work with a lot of people in my business, and I constantly say this. How many people are working on their craft, their skills, the systems we have in play? What about learning about what you're doing, even though you feel you know enough? There's always more room for growth. But you got to do that in your time. What are you doing to perfect your business when no one's watching? So that was my next one, was level up behind the scenes. Here's another one. Here's my main point. Here's the one that's driving it home. Today's all me, guys. So you got me. So feel free to add. Oh, hold on. Before I go to my last point, I just got another question. Let's see what Coach has here for me. I'm manning my own station today, so I got to go from screen to screen. Let's see what Coach has. Do you think, let's see. And guys, feel free to chime in. Let's see if it shows up here. What's the delay? There you go. Do you think the Sanders revealed their strategy too early, announcing where they don't want to play for AT, where they don't want to play at? Why might that be a risky move as an entrepreneur? Here's what I think about that. You move in silence. Maybe it hurt a little, the fact that he revealed their strategy. As an entrepreneur, I was always taught to move in silence. You don't need to tell everybody your plan. Not everybody is worth hearing it. And sometimes the wrong people will hear what your plans are. And guess what? You just hurt yourself because you put it out there too early. I think that jump, that might have been something that hurt them, because, but he never, the way they carry themselves and knowing their worth and their value, I think changes a lot of that. But I think that was part of their strategy. And as an entrepreneur, I wouldn't do it. I move in silence. I'm not going to tell everybody what my moves are. I would refer to having my mentor and tell. That's what you have, a mentor. Hey, what do you think about this? I'm thinking about starting to go to this state to grow and scale there. What do you think about that? And have that conversation in private. I wouldn't just bring it out until I'm already about to do it. Because when you put things out there, one of the things you could do is you're going to bring on that discouragement yourself. You're bringing that negative attention to yourself. And yes, you can use the hatred to fuel you, but sometimes it knocks you down. And then somebody behind you is going to take your idea and run with it because you let it out. You let the cat out the bag. So I would move in silence. That's what I would do. And I can't tell you I know all the answers, but that's the way I've been taught, and I believe it works. When you have the right people around you, you can always seek great counsel. That's very true. So, hold on. We got more. Oh, this is becoming a debate online. You're lucky I know if you're driving, I can't send you his link, but I'm about to bring you up here putting things like that. Mr. 10X Grant Cardone would disagree. Okay, sir. I didn't say I got all the answers, and I know I can't deal with Grant Cardone, but I'm just telling you how I would move. But I would love to throw you up in here. You know what, guys? Next week, I think I have a special guest. Let me see what he said. He said, Mr. 10X Grant Cardone would disagree, moving in silence. You know what? At the 10X conference that we went to, you're absolutely right. He believes in making a lot of noise. I think that's relative to what field you're in. I wouldn't do it myself until I'm about to move and do it, like until the action plan. But you're actually right in what he said. Even when it comes down to the book, I'll give you one of the things he did say. There's times that one of the books he created, he only knew the cover. He didn't even start writing the book yet. He already had pre-sales because all they did is create the cover as it went, and he already announced it to the world that it's going to be out. And that's a way to add pressure to yourself as well. So, hey, coach, that's why you're a coach, man. I got to give it to you, but there's just certain things that I feel you should move in silence with. And in business, I don't think all the time you should always just make a lot of noise. In their move, it probably would have helped if they stayed quiet because nobody needs to know their plan. But who knows? At the end of the day, to bring it back to the Shedeur Sanders thing, they know their worth. That I can always validate any decision they made, wrong, whatever people's personal opinion is. I don't think it mattered because here's the thing. He knows that they know what they bring to the table. He knows what he's going to be able to do. Now he just has to go out there and prove it. And I think he's going to be more than he's going to actually do that. Oh, we got people. Oh, coach, you started a whole thing here. How has moving in silence worked out for you? Any stories? Mm. I could tell you that anytime I move too loudly, and here's what I'll say about that, Marvin. I'm very picky about what I say out loud. Now, in the place I'm in now in life, I'm very particular about what things I'm letting out and out, and I'm going to tell you why. I think there's a right way and a wrong way to do things. I think every time I moved too loudly, I didn't have the right people around me, and what I did actually hurt me. So I think that's relative to the reason I move in silence until I need to make noise about it. And it's not always relative to like my business, like my personal entrepreneur pursuit. I'm also adding in personal life. I some in some situations I was taught, and maybe this is wrong, but it's helped me out. So I'm not going to dismiss it, and I'm going to put it out there. One of the major things that I was taught is too many hands in the kitchen can ruin a dish. I don't want everybody in my business. Now, when it comes to, I'm not a secret agent. There's a difference in what I'm saying, and you got to be able to departmentalize. I'm not a secret agent. Everybody knows what I do. Everybody in my family knows what I do. Everybody that meets me knows what I do. I speak loudly and boldly about what I do. I just don't. I'm not going to tell you what my next move is until I have it in motion. I'm not just going to give you my thoughts. I'm not just going to give you my ideas. It's just a matter of knowing how to move. Whether it's premature, I think there's a time to move and there's a time to include and be boastful about it. Um, and I'm talking more on both personal and business. So it's a little different in certain aspects of life. And what I can say is that now I'm more prepared in my life to actually let things out in the open because I have the right support system around me. I hope that answers your question, but that was a very good question. Then I got here. Okay. Takira, I disagree. I don't think he cared about letting everyone know. Yeah, he didn't care. Deion Sanders and all of them don't care. They don't care. They move on, they move a different way. Let's see. Also followed up by if you announce your next, I guess you move, you were saying in business, and everyone tries to steal your idea. So what? That doesn't mean they'll be able to do it better. You're right. And you're absolutely right about that because it's not about the idea, it's about the person guiding the idea. I'll give you that. That's you get two thumbs up for that. Man, I love what's going on. Oh, explanation on what I am. I am private, not secretive. That's a great perspective. I like this. Oh, this is going everywhere. Oh, you guys are really writing it up today. Okay. I can relate to that. Too much negativity around you would discourage me and I would give up too soon. So moving quietly keeps the negativity down. The people around you makes a world of a difference. It does. It does. I could tell you personally, that's Marvin, back to your question. That was the issue I had is the way I was moving. I was moving way, man. There's a few people on this that are watching right now that could tell you that there's the difference in how I used to be and how I am. I think it's more calculated now. And if you move the wrong way, and we're all human. I like to say fear and faith can't live in the same vessel, right? But sometimes that negativity will create fear, which create hesitation. So again, it's all on what you're doing, man. Everybody seems to have good comments on this. Maybe we got to do a whole episode on that. I like that. I agree. Everyone shouldn't know every move you make. You have to be careful and mindful and know your circle. Very true. Look at this. We got commentary coming in everywhere. Man, I can't keep up with you. Replying to Keith. Keith Jones. I Takira agrees with you. Let's see. Keith Jones says, that's all subjective. Yes, it is. All right, guys. Well, this is great, man. Keep bring on the comments. I've given you 4. Let me see. There's something else. If you announce your next business move, someone might. Oh yeah, you told me that one already. So let me just go back and give you the 5 things I was talking about and lead to my last one. And I'll still keep looking to see if you guys have any more comments. This is great, man. I didn't think, to be honest, I'm gonna be completely honest with you guys. I didn't know that everybody was gonna be so involved, and I'm so happy about this. Thank you, thank you, thank you for your support, guys. Don't forget to click on this beautiful little QR code there, subscribe to the show, like, share, and comment on it. Keep the conversation going even when this is over. But let me just go real quick through this. So one of the things I want to make sure that you keep in mind, these are 5 steps to get out of your own way when it comes to entrepreneurship, right? And number 1 is you don't need anybody's approval to start or evolve. Trust your instincts. All right. Don't be afraid of delayed reward. You got to trust who you are. Number 2, silence the noise. You got to know who you're listening to, guys. You got to know who you're listening to. There's going to be a lot of people in your ear whenever you're doing anything, business or personal. Everybody has an opinion. Silence the noise. Some of us make sure we pray. The next thing you want to do is listen. I always tell people God talks to me in different ways. So when I pray, he sends the right people so I can listen to them. So make sure you have the right people in your ear. Tune out all the critics, man. Everybody's got an opinion. You don't need everybody's. Here's number 3, level up behind the scenes. What are you doing to improve yourself and your business when nobody's watching? Are you reading? Are you doing personal development? Are you learning your systems? How's your business running? What are you doing to perfect your craft? Some of you know exactly what you're doing, but are you doing anything to elevate, to get better? Those entrepreneurs that want to scale, I know they are. Decide what you want to do. Make a decision. Here's the major one. Ready? Make a decision. Once you make that decision, it's time to deliver. Make the decision, and then it's time to deliver. Be clear. Clarity is your power. The clearer you are, the more power you have. So be clear when you make this decision. Clarity breeds power. Once you make a decision, it's time to execute. And when you execute, do it boldly, with confidence, and no apologies. Be unapologetic. That's right. That is my last one right there for you. Clarity. Be clear. And once you make that decision, execute with confidence and no apologies. You already made up your mind. Now, let me see if I got anything here. Ask for God's discernment. Yes, ma'am. That was Jennifer's last comment. So, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you for your time. Let me see if anybody puts anything up before I go. Okay. I want to thank you for your time. It's been an honor, a pleasure, and a privilege to actually get up here today, relate something that a lot of people are talking about, twist it and turn it, and bring it into entrepreneurship. Hopefully, some of the things I laid out for you, you'll be able to use if you're not already doing so. Hopefully, I sparked up something that's in your mind already that you can take to the next level. I can't wait to see what you guys are doing, because I, just like you guys, I'm a fan of every one of you and everyone that's watching that shares this, because obviously I start looking at your page and seeing what you're doing. Who knows? I might have one of you up here sharing your story. So I want to thank you for your time. It's been a honor and a privilege. You could have been anywhere, but you're here with me. So you don't need, just remember, these are my closing thoughts. Here's one of the things that you should take away. You don't need you don't need anyone's approval. You don't have anything to prove to anyone but yourself. Your timing is your weapon. Like Shedeur, own your value, trust your preparation, and when the time comes, it's time to just step up. Make sure the world knows about it. Always play your game to dominate. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been another episode of The Unapologetic Entrepreneur. Please scan the QR code, like, comment, and share. Guys, it's been an honor, a pleasure, and a privilege. I'll see you on the next one. I got a special guest for you guys next Friday. Remember, Friday at 5, come ready. I have an entrepreneur here that's going to be blessing our stage, $1 million earner, and he's gonna be, hey, transparency is everything. So bring your questions, bring your comments, bring your concerns, and let's see if we can put them in the hot seat. Every time I bring somebody up here, it's okay. Today, you guys even put me in the hot seat. I like it. I got comfortable. You got to get comfortable with the uncomfortable, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you once again. I see you on the other side. Be blessed.